I've been in 2 police precincts. One time I went because my friends had gotten arrested, and I went up to the lady at the window. I didn't know how to address her, and I said, "I believe my friends are in captivity." She laughed in my face. She's like, "What, are they hostages?" I was like, "What? Like, okay, I'm 16, dude. I don't know." Welcome back to Oops the Podcast.
All right, lots to unpack here.
I got something for you.
Please. Giulio, I don't know where you came up with that idea.
Dude, this guy was a huge turkey.
What is this, Japan? Which is
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I hadn't told you about it.
No, and I also just assumed you were saving it for the pod if you were going to tell me,
Yeah.
which of course you were.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Welcome back, Oops the Podcast gang. It is I, Giulio, joined by Francis.
C'est moi.
What is poppin'?
Well,
What is pasta?
what's pasta? I'm well, dude. Things are good. Got a fun weekend planned. I'm going to Montauk.
I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna be out there too.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you for real?
I'm gonna be in East Hampton, but yeah,
Yeah, it's not
be
far.
in the general area.
Damn.
And
boy.
I know that it can become difficult to coordinate, but it would be nice to arrange a bump in potentially.
Yeah.
We can talk and see how it goes.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Big weekend.
Big fun stuff happening.
How was your road weekend recently?
Oh yeah.
I'd love to hear.
St. Louis.
Was it weekend or during the week? What was it exactly? Weekend.
Yeah, you can find me in St. Louis where they go and play rain all day. I don't know if that's
Some
got jobs,
yay.
some sell yay, others just smoke and fuck all day.
Yes.
Nelly, by the way, remarkable what he achieved in not a very long period of time either.
Mm.
That album, what's it called? His major album.
Ooh, man. I should know, but I can't remember.
Big time
I know
album.
Was it called Country Grammar?
Yes.
The album. I know the song was. I don't know.
No, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Country Grammar by Nelly achieved diamond status.
Wow.
Something like 18 or 19 years after it was released, which is really amazing. That's 10 million sales of the album.
Wow.
It's up on the top, 30.
There's only a few albums.
There
that
aren't
done that,
many.
Yeah.
And it's all Michael Jackson, Eminem,
Mm-hmm.
and like the Beatles, I think. A lot of people in that world.
It's a good club to be in.
Yeah, good stratosphere.
So you were. How many shows did you do again? I was kind of unclear.
5 shows.
Okay. They were solid.
They were great. St. Louis has good people.
Mm-hmm.
Very good people. They're humble about their city. They're not. They realize people who visit there probably not going to have the best time.
What? There's this good barbecue. They have the Arch. I find the Arch to be impressive.
I'll tell you what, the Arch is impressive.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I've been doing this thing where I've been reading about places that I visited. Even a place like the Arch, where you're like, what could this possibly, like, what could I really learn?
Mm-hmm.
But the Arch represents a couple random things.
Gateway to
Do
the
you know?
West.
That's one of them. And there's other things apparently too.
Half of the McDonald's logo.
Oh, interesting. No,
I made that
that's
up.
good. That's good. Good guess.
That's okay.
One
String
supposedly
of easy
commemorating the Dred Scott court
Oh
case.
God, is that right?
Was
Was Dred Scott integration in schools?
no, Dred Scott was this freed slave moved to a state where he could be free, and then he moved back to the original state, and it was deemed that he was still a slave even though he had been freed. And it was
Wow.
considered one of the most unpopular Supreme Court rulings of all time, and eventually led to the abolition of slavery.
Well done, you.
Thank you.
Good mastery of that fact.
I just read it not long
Something
ago.
tells me we don't even need a Facts with Ryan for that.
So there's those 2 things, and then there's a third one also, but I think it had to do with like the Louisiana Purchase and the westward expansion, like you said. But anyway, so yeah, I think it's fun to like read about some of these things that seem like there might not be anything to learn about.
Right.
But it is the nation's smallest proper national park as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if they built a really, really big sort of square at the same scale as the Arch.
Oh, like another shape.
Yeah, so that it could be the Arch Nemesis.
That's very oops the
Yeah.
podcast humor right there, my friends.
You didn't know what was coming.
You're not
there.
getting that one anywhere else.
No way.
It's an oops exclusivo.
Jose.
You already know
Didn't see that coming. Now, listen to this. This is funny, okay? So one thing that I'm asking a lot of my audience members, I tell people at my shows that I've become quite interested in men. And guys, we talk about it a lot.
Guys.
I've got this fascination with guys these days. And I do a joke about union workers. And then I often ask, are there any union workers here? And oftentimes, depending on the city, people will shout out which union they're in. And I am absolutely fascinated by unions.
What about them gets you?
Gets you going. Have you ever seen season 2 of The Wire?
No. I've never seen any seasons of The Wire. I know it's unpopular that is my state. I will watch it.
I'm only surprised because I think you would love it. I think
it's supposed to be the best show of all time.
Specifically would really like The Wire.
Interesting. I gotta watch it.
Well, season 2 of The Wire, it's set in the docks. Doesn't give anything away. In the docks of Baltimore, the shipping containers that come in, the guys that unload those and all that, and they're all union workers.
My grandfather used to do that.
Yeah, there's a term they use for them.
A longshoreman?
Well, that might be it too. But they have another term, and it might have more to do with the country from whence they all hail, which I can't remember what it is. But maybe Ryan can pick that up for us. Anyway, the point is that after their day, a lot of the scenes in the show are set at the bar that they all go to, and I think it's a union bar. And this idea that union workers have a union hall that often has a bar in it, and you have to be a member of the union to go there. And I was asking some of these guys about their bars and what that was like, and they pay dues to be members of their union hall, and it's some guys have just like $50 a quarter, or a small yearly fee, but it's unlimited booze once you go, and you can't even bring your wives or girlfriends there.
Wow.
Yeah,
that sounds like exactly what you're looking for, dude.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about a place that a guy can be a guy. If we were to do a parade for International Guys Day.
You are in a union, dude.
You're right.
We're both union members.
I forgot about that. Our union sucks.
We don't have a place to hang out and drink for free.
Our union,
that's for sure.
I just pay dues to my union, and I never get anything from it anymore. Because I know it's the Screen Actors Guild that we're both members of, the SAG. And, I know that I have to keep paying my stupid dues, even though I haven't done any SAG work in years.
But if you did, you'd have to pay more. Which
exactly.
Is also
if I left the union and then I got a SAG gig, I would have to pay back in.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if you are working often in SAG work, it's nice to have the union. But
Well, they had my healthcare for a year. I was on SAG healthcare, which was really solid.
Yeah.
Which was really nice. Point is, I'm fascinated by these unions. So here were some that people shouted out. Okay. One guy said Local 38.
Okay.
What do you think that is?
Local anything is always the real deal. I don't know what 38 is.
Don't you love that? Don't you love local, that they've got a number?
Hearing local. I'm going to guess for plumbing.
Okay, pretty good guess. But no.
Electrician?
No. That Local 38 in St. Louis is sheet metal.
Wow.
And I said, sheet metal. Wow, cool. What do you guys do? And he goes, look behind you. And I turned around, and the mural behind me featured the St. Louis Arch. And he said, yeah, we did that.
Wow.
And I said, wow, great answer.
That's a really good answer. Were you you physically made the backdrop of this comedy club?
Yeah, I know.
He's like,
or the wall behind me? No.
That's where I thought you were going.
They did the arch.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
1966.
1966?
I don't know. I'm actually not positive, but I believe. 1966, I think, is when it came under the National Park jurisdiction, but unclear if that's when it was built. Whatever. We can figure that out.
Okay. You mentioned some other good ones. I think it was Local 567 or something that was electrical.
Is this in sequence? Does that mean there are 567?
I asked that question. No, I don't. And nobody seemed to know where the numbers came from. Because there was a Local 1, which was plumbing and pipe fitting.
Interesting.
Plumbing and pipe fitting was
Interesting.
one. I'm pretty sure. I may have this all mixed up, by the way. That might have been. Then there was HVAC.
Yep.
HVAC was one. There was a meat union.
The meat union.
We had meat. I mean, these are just manly jobs.
The meat union is the most manly.
How
job
manly is this stuff? This is man. Now they have women in them for sure, but don't get me wrong. They've got women in them. But I don't know. To be a man, the guy that I spoke to who was in the pipe fitting and plumbing, his father had been in the pipe fitting and plumbing
and
union.
his father.
Yep. He said 6 direct generations.
Wow.
I said, like, wow, you're like the son of Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
Yeah, seriously. Like a legacy.
Pretty cool.
It's really cool.
There's a lot of pride in that.
Yeah. I sort of went to the stereotypical fish market, pike market, Seattle men throwing fish scenario that I remember so fondly from the introduction to Real World Seattle, which was an iconic season.
Yeah.
And I sat and watched these attractive men tossing fish to each other. I really enjoyed myself.
I would have been into that.
It was good. Good fishmongering occurring.
Why are they throwing the fish?
I think it's part of it's sort of performative. Like they will be like, fish coming in. And they like yell it. And then if you tip them, they go, we got a tip. Everybody says it. It's fun. It's a fun thing.
Wow.
For everyone.
But do they actually need?
They could probably hand the fish if they wanted to.
But here's my question. Are these people throwing fish to each other? Are they working for the same stall?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're putting it in the display thing. And, they chuck them and they're able to catch them.
So do they ever drop them? Did you see any drops?
I didn't see any drops. No drops.
No. Now, because I would have thought maybe competing stalls would have said, I'll trade you a pike for a flounder. And they would throw them then.
Toss them. No, I don't think it was that.
But it's just unloading, basically.
Unloading. I had a very nice time in Seattle. I went to Mount Rainier, which you told me. I'd actually like to hear that story. If you're comfortable telling it. That is the 4th national park established in the U.S. and it was cool to visit. Thank you again to everybody who gave me suggestions. It was very helpful. I had a variety of good suggestions. Went and spent the day there. Came back to the show. It was super cool. But yeah, dude, the story.
Really quick, how long were you in Seattle for?
2 nights. 2 nights.
You flew in.
Went straight from the airport.
Had a day there.
No.
Did the show.
Well, sorry. No, but I got picked up from the airport and went straight to the park.
Wow.
Yeah. And then dude, this is great. Okay. So then we came back from the park, and unseasonably hot in Seattle. Not even unseasonably, just hotter than they're used to. No air conditioning, almost similar to like the UK. It wasn't 100 degrees, but it was like 90 and like hot as fuck and everywhere because nobody had air conditioning, which was odd. But it's funny. So whenever I go to these places, and I know you kind of do this too, I try to meet up with somebody if I can. If I know anybody in the area, and a person who maybe is not that close of a friend suddenly becomes this good friend and we're meeting up, you know what I mean? So the person specifically, somebody that one of my best friends had met on Birthright. And they like fell in love, like the classic Birthright romance. Sort of fizzled thereafter. They've kind of stayed in touch a little. We have mutual friends, whatever. So it wasn't that weird that I wanted to meet up with her. And I actually asked him in advance. I was like, do you care if I meet up with her? He's like, no, I don't care. So whatever. But she has a new boyfriend, whatever. She's like, we're going to go out to this place Monkey Loft. It's like a great spot in town. You should come meet up with us. I was like, okay. So I go, and Benny, who was with me opening, and his friend chose not to come. They're going to go back to their hotel. We go and meet up with them, and it's like a full-on dance party. Like people doing like the hand movements. You know that thing? The hand movement thing?
Sure.
So they're doing that.
I've never had it myself.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, wow. Cool. And I see the friend who I've maybe hung out with her 2 or 3 times. I don't know her that well. And her 3 friends, I don't know any of them. Her boyfriend, her friend, and her friend's boyfriend. And they're together dancing.
Wow.
In a circle. Like, let's go dancing. I've never done that before. I've never gone dancing as a group. Let's dance. And now we're dancing. I've just never done it before. So I was like super intimidated, and I realized how odd approaching this situation was. Yeah. Because it's too loud to like small talk, and I can't just stand there and bring down the vibe.
No.
So now I'm dancing my way into the. What's up, guys? Oh, this is a great spot.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I don't want to suck at dancing because they're all like fully dancing. And it's like sort of like EDM kind of music. And so I don't want to suck, but I don't want to like try too hard because I'm not that, I can't be that.
You haven't earned it yet.
So I'm trying to like look at my brain almost like a Neo style learning to dance in the moment. Like all the dancing I've ever seen, trying to like figure out how I'm going to like get my whole body and my hips moving. And now I'm just dancing, bro, with these people. And I felt so uncomfortable. But like, so I'm like, what's up? And it's loud. What's up? This is a good spot. How'd you guys meet? Nice. Dude, it was crazy. I'm just dancing, dude. It was so insane, man. It was so insane. And nobody, like, in Seattle, they're just like a much more, like, happy-go-lucky bunch. Like,
They're up for anything.
There's no cynical, like,
no.
Oh, this is stupid dancing. Like, no one thinks that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so my sort of New York, and now of course I don't think it's stupid, but my, like, non-willingness to participate for fear of scorn was completely unwarranted.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can participate. It's okay. But it's almost like the first day you're in acting school and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you have to open. So it was that.
You know what you needed to do, right? You know what you should have done.
Ripped 5 shots.
That is exactly correct.
There wasn't enough time.
You needed to go straight to the bar and say, I want like a triple.
Dude, so it was.
I need to drink the whole thing.
Yeah. I actually grabbed a drink and then went upstairs with it. And there was only like 45 minutes of the place being open. And I was realizing that we were getting back kind of later than we thought. And I'm like, I'll keep you posted. And I just seen someone tweet, I'll keep you posted is New York for I'm not coming, which is funny. But I was like, I need to come. I can't be the example of this tweet.
Oh, wow.
So even though there was only like 40 minutes left, I like forced it. I went alone and I danced my way into this circle and had a good time.
You did have a good time.
I'm glad I did it.
Wow.
They were a nice group. Nice group too.
That's cool. That is a cool story. Why were you so late?
So we're driving back from the park. We stopped to get food. I didn't realize how early the place was going to close.
What time did it close?
11.
Dude, that's a full-blown dance party bar that closes at 11?
I know. Odd,
Shame
right?
on them.
Odd. It was a Wednesday night,
Shame
but still
on them.
early. So then I had to like get dropped off at my hotel. They originally dropped me off at the wrong place. So then I got back in the car. It was like one of those kind of things.
Do you get in the car with the people?
Did I get in the car with them after?
Did they give you a ride?
They gave me a ride home.
How do you feel about that?
I tried to avoid it.
Do you trust that the people that you're with are not drunk?
I didn't feel the need to assess that because we were driving like half a mile. And I know that that's the wrong way to approach that, but like stoplights, grid traffic, like seems low risk for me to be like, would you mind blowing into my breathalyzer before taking me home? So I was going to avoid getting the ride home because I was already the fifth wheeling hard with an acquaintance and 3 people I've never met. And I almost tried to resist the ride, but I realized that they were fine with bringing me back because I was so close.
Yeah.
So they brought me back and, we continued about our lives.
Dude, it's funny you say all that. When we were in St. Louis, the first night we were there, we went, my buddy, Lil Sass, loves to play pool.
Oh, nice.
Which, by the way, is really quite fun.
It's a good game.
I am quite fond of pool. And unfortunately, the variance in the quality of the pool table is huge.
Interesting.
Right? Where if you go to some divey bar and there's one pool
It's
table
like a
there,
piece of shit.
chances are it's one of the legs is too high, which means the whole table tilts to the right and the felt's all fucked up. The pool cues probably have totally worn down nub sticks.
The chalk
just
doesn't even
plastic
do anything.
on ball. This particular table was missing 2 solids. So we had to take 2 stripes out every time we played, which made the game faster, which was good. But anyway, and then you're the asshole. By the way, the pool everyone's kind of hanging around the pool table. People are sitting at high top tables. You have a shot where you need, and so you're like, oh, sorry, can you guys move? And you're like pushing people out of the way so you can just hit your shot, which then they are like, oh, this fucking guy. And then they watch you and you're not even close to making the ball. And they're like, why did I move?
That's a really accurate portrayal.
Shitty pool player.
I picture myself being at Patty's, that bar Patty's everybody goes to. Comedians like it. They actually are pretty serious about the pool. They like don't let you sit on the table and shit, but you still find yourself in situations where if you don't look behind you, you're going to like back pool stroke into somebody's beer pint.
Right.
And shatter it,
Right. So then what's really fun, which you forget about, and I've done a couple times in New York, but not in many years, is to go to a proper pool hall,
Yeah,
like a billiards
Totally.
room.
there's the one on Broadway in
It's called
NoHo.
Society.
NoHo.
There's one near Madison Square Park, just south of it,
really?
on Broadway,
Really?
not
I don't
far
even
from
know that
Paragon Sports. Called Society Billiards, and you go down there.
Wait, is it south of 14th Street?
No,
I'm thinking of that one. I don't know the one you're talking about.
the one I'm thinking of
You
is
do,
south
Chris?
of 23rd Street.
Oh, what? I don't know.
It's
It's
incredible.
right near me.
It's
I've never
so
been.
nice
It's
inside,
sick?
and the pool tables are immaculate.
Wow.
And it's the type of place that has leagues.
Right.
Real pool players come with their pool cues.
Mhm.
They have a glove.
Yeah.
This kind of thing, right? But you go there for a couple hours. You have drinks. They're not too expensive. Whatever. You have a great time.
Mhm.
So we went to a dive bar on Thursday night after the show with a couple of fans and played pool and had a nice time. And then we went to bed. And then on Friday, Sass and I were looking for some things to do. And I said, well, let's go play pool again. Just the two of us. We'll get some proper games in. And we went, I looked up a bunch of pool places. All the proper billiards halls in St. Louis didn't open until 5 o'clock. So we went, first of all, by the way, we went to a food place called Balkan Treat Box, which serves Balkan food.
Nice.
And it was special.
What made you guys go there?
Someone had recommended it
Got it.
to me. Someone had sent me a message, and I went there, and the food was spectacular.
What kind of food?
Turkish?
Like kebab kind of stuff?
Some kebabs, but they have a very specific menu. I think they've been recognized nationally.
Mm-hmm.
They're known.
Sick, dude.
Might have had a Guy Fieri stop, etc.
Got it.
I'm not entirely sure, but really gourmet, incredible food. And not expensive. Just sort of like fast casual.
Nice.
They make it all right there, but it was amazing. So
Sick.
went there, and then we went to a bar that said they had pool tables, and I called them ahead of time. They said, yeah, we've got pool tables. And we went in, and dude, when I tell you that this place was a dive, I mean dive. We walked in at 2:30. We were the only people there. I ordered 2 Bud Lights. Guess how much it cost to order 2 Bud Lights?
$8?
$6.50.
Oh my God. That is very
A Bud Light
affordable.
is $3.25.
Very affordable.
But the fact that there's a quarter
I know. I was
on
thinking that
top,
too.
they're
What-
giving
yeah.
you change,
Yeah.
is amazing.
Amazing.
And we played pool for the next 5 hours.
Oh my God.
We played 17 games of pool.
Oh my God, dude.
It was just rack it again, run it back, run it back, run it back. It was
Is
really
he very
fun.
good?
No,
Are you?
no,
Okay.
but I'm better than he is.
Okay. But he really loves pool?
Loves it.
I like that.
I've
for
whooped him.
Nice.
I think I beat him like 12-4.
Solid. That's a
Something like
solid
that.
shellacking.
Yeah.
It's
So-
funny you say that, dude. We almost stopped at a restaurant. We were trying to find a place to eat when we were leaving Rainier. Everything was closed. Mostly because it was so hot. The kitchen people were like, we need to go home, which is insane. But anyway, no, but it's insane because like it's wild that you in a place that isn't used to dealing with heat, there's no way they don't deal with it. Whereas like Florida, everywhere has air conditioning. You know, you'd never have that problem. Here, there's just no air conditioning. So we go to the one restaurant we thought was open. We sat down at a table. There was a pool table right next to us, people playing pool. And I'm not kidding you, speaking of divey, like there was just a field of cigarette butts on the floor outside of the restaurant / bar. And the guy describing the shot he was going to make on the table, I'm not kidding you, selling this. Aaron, but right there. Like very right there. And then the lady's like, guys, sorry, we closed the kitchen. And we're like, okay, that's probably for the best. The food couldn't have been that good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I get the picture you're painting with divey pool.
There was a guy at this bar who lit a cigarette inside.
Wow. Can you do that there?
I don't think so. I asked, and they were like, you used to be able to smoke here until very recently.
Okay. So people
That is divey. If you can smoke at a bar, because no one told them off.
Where can you still smoke inside?
Texas
in the
has
US?
some bar, or Nashville has some bars
Really?
that you can smoke at. I know that.
Crazy, bro.
So we played pool, then we did our next show, and then we didn't have really anything else in mind, so we went back to that dive bar again on Friday night.
Did you guys hang out with each other for the entire day, the entire time?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we were in our hotel rooms till till noon.
Yeah.
I went out and got coffee, but he just chilled.
Yeah.
So then Friday night, okay, we do our shows, and then we decide to go to this place. It's called Nick's.
Mhm.
Nick's Pub. And a bunch of, the fans from the shows were going to come too. We were trying to figure out whether we're calling an Uber, and one guy was like, well, why don't you just come with me? I have a Tahoe. And I was like, sick. But then I, pulled him aside, and I did my own field sobriety test.
Yeah.
And I was concerned.
Yeah.
We were coming from a comedy show. He has to drink there, probably. And I looked at him and I said, how much have you had to drink? And he said, I've had 1 beer. I'm fine. And I looked at his eyes and I sort of checked his speech, and it all seemed above board.
Made him walk on a straight line.
Yeah.
Saying the alphabet backwards.
But that's not, is that all right?
For you to do?
Do you think, do you think I've properly covered my bases?
Yes. Very much so.
You think I can tell whether someone's sober enough to drive?
No, but you're being overly cautious, which is a good trend. It's good to trend overly cautious.
Well, I think
it's a very popular way for people to die.
I think overly
driven by
cautious
others.
is taking a $12 Uber.
I don't know. If this guy seemed completely fine, he had 1 beer. If he had 2 beers, I would have gone with him too. But I agree with you. I don't like being in a car with somebody else and like watching them drive fast, or like, I just really hate it.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where like if I'm ever in a situation where I'm like constantly being driven around, I'm going to tell the company, make sure the person knows not to drive faster than like 80 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in a rush. To quote Hillary's dad, it's not a time machine.
So we get to this place, and there's a very small parking lot for the bar, and it's practically completely full. And we pull into the parking lot.
Classic.
And there's 1 parking space left. And a car has already positioned itself. In my opinion, it looks like it's about to back into it.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy pulled in front of it and backed in.
Wow.
And I said, really?
You sure you've only had 1 beer?
I said, are you sure? And he goes, we have a Tahoe.
Wow. The truth rears its ugly head.
He thought because of the size of our car. I mean, the other guy was driving like an Impala or something.
Oh, not a small car.
A Chevy Impala? Isn't it a sedan?
It's like a muscular sedan. Yeah.
Certainly. But he has this tank
this
of
big
a Tahoe.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's just the way it is. We have a Tahoe.
And you're like, oh, God. Dude.
And then when we got into the bar, I noticed that he was wearing a bracelet, like a Livestrong bracelet that said, I think it said Blue Lives Matter.
Okay.
Like the police.
Yeah.
Or I stand with blue. So he's wearing a bracelet that has a very strong statement about, his stance on the whole. I take that bracelet as I am not on the side of Black Lives Matter, right? Isn't that what that means?
I think that it became like that. I suspect that if you were to ask him about it, he might be like, my uncle's a cop. Cops are getting a bad rap. Which, like, I'm open to that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't think that philosophically it has to be opposed to Black Lives Matter, but for some reason it kind of became like that.
If you say Blue Lives Matter, aren't you basically saying it's 2 sides against each other? It's the police versus Black Lives Matter?
I don't know. That is the way that it has been popularly portrayed. I don't think it needs to be that way. I don't know why it got.
Well, this is why I wonder if they had.
From a literal standpoint, if you break down specifically what that's supposed to mean, it shouldn't mean that.
Yeah, but think
it
about
does
this.
For some reason.
Imagine if the people who are on the side of cops had just added 1 word and made it Blue Lives Matter 2.
Right.
TOO.
So
Might that have solved it? Because that implies, of course, Black Lives Matter. Do we.
The thing that's obnoxious about it is that the Blue Lives Mattering isn't
in question.
Necessarily in question.
I've always wondered,
why does it need to be said that? Like, can't you be like, I support the police? Why did it have to be a response to to a very valid movement? The Black Lives Matter movement is a very reasonable,
Right. I've always wondered this. I'm going to say something controversial. Police officers, when they get killed, they have the most incredible ceremony for them.
Which they absolutely deserve.
I'm not saying they don't.
I know.
I'm not saying they don't deserve that.
I wasn't.
Soldiers don't get that level of a processional.
Don't they?
No.
Really?
Soldiers killed overseas, they don't get a
21 gun salute, the folded flag.
They don't get like the whole police force out on the streets. Does that happen every time a police officer dies?
I don't know.
It's cool as hell, and I do think they deserve it.
Of course,
but I'm just wondering,
line of duty, you deserve a hero's outro.
Is it the case that soldiers die so much more frequently than police officers?
Do they?
That they couldn't possibly, nobody would have the bandwidth to put together processionals at that frequency.
I wonder, and I'm sure year to year changes, but I wonder on a year like this particular year, if that were to even be true. Because I would think that more police might die in 2022 than soldiers. Is that completely wrong? Are we in any active conflict?
I don't think that's.
Is it completely wrong? I'm pulling that out of my ass. But what wars are we in?
I think we're in a lot of proxy wars.
But our guys aren't fighting in those proxy wars.
I think there's a lot of special forces guys in places like North Africa,
right?
Parts of the Middle East, Syria.
But they're more from a sort of like surveilling, doing what needs to be done, making sure things doesn't get worse. But I'm sure I might be, again, I'm making all this up. So I'm sure Facts with Ryan will help us.
Yeah. I think you'd be surprised at how many armed military members of U.S. forces are, dying and getting injured.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I bet the number is probably fairly high for the police too, or no?
I just don't know.
I don't know.
And I've always thought, whenever I've seen those incredible police funerals, I've always thought, wow, that's amazing and deserved.
Mm-hmm.
But that's quite a lot. It's quite a lot that they've put together. Kojo's barking.
Yeah, that was.
I've always wondered, like, first of all, if all those police officers are out there in their dress blues, lined up, is that like the best day for criminals to go steal shit? Because they're all busy? Did they leave a few guys behind to man the door?
That's interesting, though.
And
right, and clearly Blue Lives Matter because of this incredible ceremony that they're getting.
Exactly.
No one's debating whether or not that's true.
Exactly.
We all feel that way, But,
yes.
There's
right.
There's certain reasonable requests that the people have.
Right.
But
and then you see those bumper stickers like reward for someone who's killed or injured a police officer, $15,000. I've always wondered it, man. Could I get some of that information?
Fine.
Could I, I could use that money.
I wonder if that's a difficult thing to redeem. They're like, well, technically you led us in the right direction, but you weren't the person who put the nail in the coffin. Therefore, you're not entitled to any of the money.
Right. We would have gotten him.
You should have read the fine print, dude.
We would have gotten him without
on the bumper
you.
Sticker. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if someone told it to me and then I told it to the police, does he get half the money? I've always wanted to redeem a injured police officer coupon.
By, snitching.
Have you ever walked into a police precinct in New York?
I don't think so. Have you?
Yeah.
For what reason again?
When my city bike got stolen.
Oh, right.
They told me I had to take it to the police station and make a police report.
God, what a pain.
And they brought me upstairs. I mean, boy, being in there is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's exactly like what you picture from a crime show.
Yeah, I've been in 2 police precincts. One of them, 3 times. One time I went because my friends had gotten arrested. And I went up to the lady at the window. I didn't know how to address her. And I said, I believe my friends are in captivity. She laughed in my face. She's like, what, are they hostages? I was like, what? Like, okay, I'm 16, dude. I don't know. My boy, and shout out to my boys who actually did not snitch on me because we were all together. They got arrested. I did not. They had said that all the contraband was theirs. They took the L. I really appreciated that. That was
Los drogas?
Things that are no longer even considered drugs. A little bit of weed, and beers, not worth ruining a person's life over potentially, but whatever. I don't think it ruined theirs by any stretch of the imagination. There was that time then when I got arrested, unfortunately, in Colorado that one time
burning down, starting
a fire.
biggest wildfire of the side of Mississippi.
And the third time was when I was in Ecuador, and my dear friend and companion on all these trips, Zach, had his phone pickpocketed. We didn't really understand what was happening, but we ended up on motorcycles with police officers and were brought to the precinct. And if you happen to have a insurance policy that covers you for a lost phone, which, by the way, your homeowner's insurance or renter's insurance should cover you for that.
Wow.
Which is an interesting hack. Most travel policies will not cover a lost phone because of how easy that is to do, but you do need to file a police report in order to be able to get it, which we learned there. Sorry for the rant.
No, that was really good.
Continue.
Yes, so it's cool. It's cool to be in a police precinct, I have to say. I went up, the guy asked me a bunch of questions, but he was so just bored by it all, but in a cool way.
Mm-hmm.
He said, okay, give me the file,
happened?
paperwork. And then halfway through the conversation, I was like, so, by the way, I managed to get the security footage from the bodega that was right over where this happened. And
They said that, or you did?
I did.
Oh, wow.
I said, and I got it because I'm a comedian. He goes, I know who you are.
Oh, wow.
But he did not give a fuck.
That's pretty solid.
It was super cool.
That is cool.
It was like, yeah, I know who you are, but I don't care.
Not impressed, pal.
And I was like, that's my favorite
Take a seat.
being noticed moment, maybe ever.
It's not mine. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? You weren't gonna tell me. Here I was thinking you don't know me, and you do.
I'm not gonna get
You
special
dog.
treatment.
Dude, did you? I think maybe we talked about this on literally like episode 9 of the podcast. But Graham K has witnessed a lot. He's been around for a lot of bad things. Like he had to emergency land a plane in a field once.
He did?
He was on the flight. It was a commercial flight too. That happened to him. He was there when the shooting happened on the patio of the Comedy Store. And then he was around for another shooting. And he said that the cop showed up and everybody was kind of around looking. And the cop gets out of the car and is like pulling his pants up and goes, let me guess, no one saw nothing. Just like the most stereotypical cop of arriving on the scene of the crime moment.
That's really good.
It's pretty good.
That's really good. Damn.
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't. That's it.
About the cops. Well, dude, I have a new thing that I've been thinking about. It's not that important, but I've thought it's kind of funny. If you ever want to amuse yourself when a plane lands, if you behave like when the plane landed, you were just like birthed, or like you're now back in your body, or you woke up. So when the plane lands, if you go, if you act as if this burst of energy came into your body, do it and see what everybody else around you does. I only do it in front of Hillary because it makes her uncomfortable. Stop. Which we went to a solid core class again together, and nice. When the class started, I just started going, yeah. And she was like, are you serious?
Dude, when we went to the one that I did, people would, when it got really hard, some woman went, woo. And I wanted to be like, you shut the fuck up. I know it's hard. Don't tell me you're enjoying this, you sadist.
I hate when they go at the end of the class, look to the person on your left and right and give them a high five for doing good. I'm like, God, I hate this. But I don't want to not do it in case the other person is going to. But usually I end up being more enthusiastic, and then I feel like as if I've gotten. Yeah. I usually just go, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wave and go, mm-hmm.
It's like it's like when at the end of church they tell you to meet your neighbor.
Oh God,
and you turn around and shake their hands.
Peace be with you.
Peace be with you.
Peace be with you. Peace be with you.
Yeah.
It's the same, bro, as yoga, actually. You kind of mumble it because you're embarrassed. Namaste.
You say that to everyone? They tell you to do that to everyone?
No, they say namaste.
And at the end, out loud.
Half of the people go namaste, and the other people go, mm.
Yeah, but they're not saying it to each other.
But often they will ask you to greet and bow at at the people next to you.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. I don't know. Is it? Ultimately it is, but it's like it's exactly like just dance into the circle, dude. It's okay. Uh-huh. Same thing should probably go towards. Do you know I've ever noticed that I do? I have a greeting for people who are familiar. For example, your doormen, when I see them, I do a celebratory fist pump as if I had just won a big point in a tennis match. I look at them and I go, and I fist pump.
Yeah. Well, they all know you guys now so well.
They're good.
We've got awesome doormen. They would never ask me for money. They're not like that.
Dude, I flew on JetBlue, and it's really interesting and difficult to force yourself to buy the affordable fare instead of sticking with the airline where you have a bigger penis. Where, for example, our Delta statuses have awarded us certain luxuries that are hard to forego when flying on another airline.
Yeah, my penis is starting to get pretty big on Delta.
Dude, yeah. Big old fucking pipes on the boys.
Yeah. Throbbing.
Flying on old D.
Swollen.
Flying on the D, dude.
Yeah, that's it.
But so
tuck it under the seat.
I flew on JetBlue because I had points. I used them and I forgot to select my seat. I was in the last row of the plane. So far back, I didn't have a window. It wasn't like an in-between seat. There was just no window in that seat.
Yeah, I've been there before.
And I was in my own row, but it was such a bummer to be all the way fucking back there. And I was like, this sucks ass. Right? It sucks. You're just like, I'm such a scrub.
Well,
I'm no one.
Now you know why Rosa Parks did what she did. That works.
I don't get it though. Where she went to the back. Oh, because the back of the bus sucks.
Correct.
So she went to the front of the bus.
She wouldn't want to go to the back.
That was the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
I get
she
confused
didn't want
sometimes.
To sit in the back
I get confused
sucks.
about which direction she went.
You said the back sucks. This sucks. And I said that's why Rosa Parks did what she did.
Correct. Because it was segregated like that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was such a stretch of a joke. And the fact that it didn't land makes it funnier to me, but it's going to make it hard for people at home. And that's fine.
But the logic breaks down perfectly.
It does work.
So I think you're good.
My logic was square.
Strong logic will protect
like
you.
the arch nemesis.
Dude, yeah, you're doing well today.
Ryan, I'm chasing
Lion.
I'm chasing my own tail.
No, what was the one you had a good one last episode with something that started with a W? Do you remember at the beginning of the episode where I was like, I know, and I was like, it was right there.
Oh yeah, nip it in the bud.
No, there was another one too. But you've been on. Point is, you've been on
attentive ear for terrible jokes.
You've been on it. Dude, fucking JetBlue, man. I'm very conflicted about them. They have pretty bad customer service.
Is that so?
It's like it's like the Monroe Doctrine Airlines. Like I feel like it only flies in this hemisphere. Is that wrong? You can only fly to South and Central America or around America, and it doesn't really fly to Europe, I don't think.
They just purchased Spirit Airlines.
I know, RIP Spirit.
Which I don't think is a very good move for JetBlue. I don't know.
So does Spirit just become JetBlue now, or now is Spirit within the JetBlue umbrella?
It's a good question. I don't know. I'm not sure. It might be their sort of discount subsidiary. But we'll have to find that out.
Dude, you threw me a pretty huge bone this weekend, which I really
appreciated. I want to hear about this.
Francis was to perform at a bachelorette party, which is actually, this is funny, because it was unclear to me how familiar they were with me. And I didn't realize that.
She said when she reached out to me asking if I'd come perform that she was a big fan of both me and GIULIO.
Cool. Which is probably what led you to. Yeah,
because then I kind of agreed to do the show, or I thought I could do it. I could do the Bachelorette party, and then I got booked for St. Louis. But I don't like missing. I don't want to lose gigs.
Yeah, solid gig.
So I threw it over to
Francis booted it to me, which I really appreciated.
G's way.
And at one point, we had the show. I'll explain how we got to this point. But they're kind of asking me questions at one point, and it was really sweet, actually. I was like, yeah, Francis couldn't do it. So then, he suggested me, and Kate found that I was up to par. And she's like, just want you to know, like, I wasn't playing favorites. Like, I know that Francis is engaged. So I thought it was like cute of her. She like didn't have to explain herself. She's like, I thought he would just be like perfect for a bachelorette party because he's engaged and like da-da-da. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
This girl's name's Kate?
I believe so, yeah. Kate.
Yeah, well, Kate, I mean, I don't think you need to just totally like qualify it like that. I mean, yeah.
Well, dude, it was really, really nice. There was one person who had gotten too drunk, which was funny because it was funny to watch. These are all like successful, like, it was a really nice group. And this girl, I'm sure, was very nice too, but she was just so drunk that it was at the point where she was like, other people were telling a story about their lives that was like not that wild of a story. Be like, oh yeah, I went to law school here. And the girl was like, well, I think that's a fucking lie. She was doing that thing. Dude, it was just so funny. And everyone was like, okay. And then at one point, the girl goes, all right, that's strike 9 for you. She was like being unruly. But dude, it was fun because I was able to gather a lot of good information about all the people who were at the party without them knowing that was going to happen.
Oh, well done.
Which made it a lot of fun.
So you could sort of roast them and stuff like that?
I had a roast for every single person there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
See,
it was just fun.
Kate, you were right. Giulio was the right choice.
Dude, no.
After all.
Dude, no.
I wouldn't have done that. I would have just talked about how I'm engaged the whole time.
But I'll tell you what, man, as far as mic-less gigs go, it's the best mic-less gig I've ever done.
Wow.
They were amazingly attentive. All the jokes seemed to go over fairly well with them. The roast stuff, there was a couple that were like, ooh, but it wasn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards we chilled for a bit, and I had assured them up top, I was like, my girlfriend just got back from a bachelorette party where the magician lingered for too long. He went to his car and changed and came back asking if they had any alcohol because he was going out after this. And I think he changed into like a Gucci shirt too. It was just something like over. I was like, I assure you I will not be doing that.
Yeah.
But I did stick around for like 10 or 15 minutes.
Like, dude, we liked you a lot more when you had your top hat and that
exactly.
cane.
Can you bring the rabbit back, dude? We like it much more than you. So I'm aware that like there's a way to overstep in that situation. Mm-hmm. So I didn't linger too long, but I had a really, really nice time. And I almost felt like they were all so motherly. They were also maternal. And although I was likely the oldest person sitting around the fire that night, I still felt cared for.
So there was a fire?
Yeah, there was a little campfire. It was in her backyard of a new house she had bought in a very nice neighborhood.
Wow. In New York City, huh?
Yep. In Queens, in fact.
Sick.
And dude, yeah, wow, what a wonderful time. So
Did you get paid in cash?
No, but not by check either. Like I feel like Venmo doesn't count as cash.
Not anymore. Now their IRS is cracking down on Venmo transactions.
If you go above like 20,000 or something, I think
it's not much.
Really?
They're really diligent about it.
So how do you even do that? I feel like I've overlooked this.
You can go back and track your earnings on Venmo theoretically.
Okay, but a lot of the stuff is personal, so it's like
right. Okay, so it's all just a question of how much risk do you want.
Okay, but so here's the thing. To me, there's no risk in that if Hillary and I are transacting back and forth because we live together and one person bought this, one person bought that. There's no risk because they can look at that and be like, this is me and my fucking girlfriend.
No, I know. But then if sprinkled in there, you're getting paid for gigs. And you're not reporting that because you hope that the IRS will just not be able to tell the difference between buying groceries for your apartment and then that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I probably, that I'll likely have to declare. Then,
yeah.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, good little fucking, I appreciate you punting that my way, pal.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. I'm glad it all worked out. I think it's, a rising tide floats all boats. I don't think that totally applies here, but for me, and I hate to apply it just to this thing, but it makes me so happy not to lose the gig outright and have the money land with the team.
Right.
You know?
You had mentioned that.
The team is benefiting.
Enriching the group.
Yes, exactly.
Which is nice, dude. A nice thing. Well, dude, okay. I have a couple other things that I want to discuss with you.
Okay.
First of them specifically is cereal. I want to talk about cereal.
Okay.
Because I think it really is. Hillary and I the other night were sitting in bed discussing cereal. And we were remembering some of them. And we're like, And then we kind of had our own personal takes on which ones were the best. And there just really aren't that many that were classics. And I'm curious about your relationship. I mean, we know that we both love cereal based on some of our past partnerships. But what was your favorite cereal?
So I liked to mix cereals. I would layer.
With which? Because this is pretty controversial, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, it's funny. We were not really allowed to buy super high processed, high fructose corn syrup, bullshit, playful cereals that had, word searches on the back and redeem 4 proofs of purchase. You'll get a boogie board. That fucking stuff.
Proofs of purchase. Dude.
Yeah.
Physically cutting them out and mailing
them out of the box, mail them in somewhere.
17
months later, you'll get a boogie board with a fucking pair of shitty sunglasses.
It's wild. But dude, mixing is really controversial. Like my dad's dialect, it's called a pachug, which is mixing things that are not supposed to be mixed together. So if I for example, if I have a piece of chicken on my plate and there was bread and I opened the bread and put the chicken in it, and made a sandwich, my dad would ostracize me for it
Wow.
and say, "What's that pachug?"
So he's just very puritanical about.
Italians are annoying. They have like a lot of food rules, which, I feel like we deserve it because we've made the best food. Like we have very fucking good food. So like whenever somebody gives me shit when I start doing that, I would like to remind them that like I have the grounds to do it perhaps more than they do. I'll see someone eating stale bread. I'm like, what are you doing?
Uh-huh.
They're like, oh, I'm sorry if this bread isn't acceptable for you. I'm like, no, dude, I just don't want it because it's stale. I don't know. No, anyway, what cereals were you combining? No,
Gotcha.
No pressure.
No, that was funny. I'm just sort of deciphering what you said. Or digesting it rather. Cereals. So I would often start with a sort of what I would like to call my healthier vegetable base. And a lot of the
vegetable
time,
base?
yeah, like a vegetable base. That's what I considered. It was my vegetable layer.
For cereal?
Yeah, so that would be like a Rice Krispies
Okay.
or
okay.
a Cheerios,
Okay,
right?
gotcha.
Nothing that has that sweet, sugary flavor, right? By the way, again,
Rice Krispies are delicious.
yeah, Rice Krispies, right?
Fucking delicious.
But like we didn't eat Reese's Cocoa Puffs.
Those didn't really exist in my childhood.
Lucky Charms, all that stuff.
But when you went to your friend's house, did you eat them?
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like heaven when you go to a friend's house.
My brother would walk into my neighbor's house without knocking on the door and go in their pantry. They'd catch him. They'd be like, what are you doing? He'd be like, I'm getting snacks. Like he didn't realize there was something wrong with that.
Got it. Love that.
He was like 7 years old. All right, sorry.
Well, so yeah, start with my vegetable base. So that'd be a Rice Krispies or a regular Cheerios. Maybe if I was towards high school as I became more adult with my taste, it might be sort of a shredded wheat.
Do you like Frosted Mini Wheats?
I do, but that would be more of a dessert topping. See, because it's frosted.
I understand, but I'm in the context of being a child. I did not think like, oh, this is not. You know what I mean? If I had it available, I would eat the entire box.
I hear you. And then I move up more towards the sort of the meat and potatoes side of things, which would be maybe a Honey Nut Cheerios. I wouldn't mix Cheerios with Honey Nut Cheerios. That's ridiculous. That's like mixing Sprite with seltzer water. But I would do...
No, that's like watering down your Gatorade slightly.
Right.
Which is not that ridiculous. I think that's a very appropriate combo. You don't?
I would, if I'm going to treat myself to a treat like Honey Nut Cheerios, then I want the full force of them. I don't want every other Cheerio to be bland.
Okay, fair, fine.
So, but I would do Rice Krispies on the bottom with Honey Nut Cheerios above that.
Oh my God, dude. That is just...
What's your problem with that?
Christ, that is insane.
Why
That's
is that
like
insane?
Every soda in one soda guy. Oh yeah, Sprite, orange soda, root beer, and it's just like purple. You're like, what is this fucking...
No, that's why I'm saying... No.
It's gross,
That's
dude.
why I'm saying
Toxic
you have
waste.
to have your vegetable course, and above that, you've got a sweet course.
Those two just don't mix well.
They'd bet you'd be surprised.
Cheerios are too dominant in that situation.
Honey Nut Cheerios.
I know, they're too dominant. It ruins what's so great about the snap, crackle, pop of the Rice Krispie. Not to mention that they get soggy at a different rate. But whatever. I don't support that, but it's fine.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
But as a child, you try things like that. I certainly did.
I don't hate the take. And then on top, there was a cereal that I quite like. Oh, another vegetable course, by the way, cereal would be Crispix.
That is one of the best cereals of all time.
Crispix was a vegetable course cereal.
What an incredible cereal. The milk goes in and it's then trapped until you burst it out by biting into it.
Yeah.
Like
not always. Sometimes
milk-logged pieces.
Sometimes the sort of the distance between slats in the gutter.
True.
The gutter lid that was the Crispix would be too wide.
The Crispic?
Yeah, the Crispic.
What's the singular for Crispic? The Crispic.
The Crispic that would be too wide to maintain the milk within.
Crispix is probably my favorite healthy cereal.
Yeah.
I can't believe you mixed all those together, though.
No, I wouldn't. I would do Crispix with like a Honey Nut Cheerios on top. And then for the roof, for the real dessert, which would be the top, and just a smattering, because you can't go too heavy on these, I would do Crackling Oat Bran.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Which was quite a treat.
Crackling Oat Bran is good.
It's a treat.
I discovered it later in life.
It's sort of a weird.
It's a good one.
Very old person, I think.
The people I used to live with uptown had it, and I discovered it there, and I really enjoyed it.
It's dense. It's
good.
sort of squares. It probably in the shape of the St. Louis
It's like
square.
fake healthy, but you
Yeah.
could get away with it at the time because your parents just like the health food knowledge wasn't where it was like it is today.
It had a lot of dietary fiber in
Yes.
it, 6 grams, I think.
Yeah.
And it might have had 5 grams of soluble fiber in it,
Oh.
which was quite a
You've
lot of
revisited this in
fiber.
adulthood.
I have not.
Oh, wow.
I reread the nutrition facts religiously.
Oh wow.
In fact, 5 grams of fiber. Yeah.
Chris looked back as if that was the craziest thing.
Crispix didn't have much. Rice Krispies barely had any. I think Crispix was like 2 or 3 grams of fiber.
Yeah.
It was really not much.
Still
it was like
empty calories.
a corn-based cereal, but that's why it was your vegetable.
No, it was
course.
both. I think it was like half corn and half wheat, or half
okay.
corn and half rice, or something.
But
like,
then, dude, there's
Chex.
another cereal that entered my life later, which became a topping cereal that might have replaced the Crispix.
Cracklin? Oh.
Excuse me, Crackling Oat Bran, and that was Honey Nut O's.
I don't know. I've never. Is that like a Whole Foods brand?
No.
Honey Nut O's. I don't know.
Honey O's.
But is that the same as Honey Nut Cheerios? Which is the
No,
generic brand?
no, they weren't. They weren't. They were little O's, but they had little flecks of almost like freckles. They had these little tiny, Honey O's. Bro, do
O's.
yourself a favor.
Oh, interesting. That's like honeycomb.
But
Similar.
not as, see, honeycomb was too childish.
Got
That
it,
was
got it.
too
This is a
processed. Honey O's maintained their crispy integrity. You could have left them for months floating in bog water and they would not have broken down, to the degree that you had to be careful biting them because so often they would scrape the roof of your mouth.
Oh yeah, that's like Captain Crunch would fuck you up, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel about this? I'm looking at a list of cereals, and I'd be willing to kind of sum up what I'm looking at and see how you feel about it. So as far as just like slept on fucking gems, Special K, Chex, Original Life.
Oh wait, hold slow down.
Bangers.
Slow down.
Bangers.
Special K. What was the next one?
Chex. Chex, I would say Crispix are better than Chex, but we've already talked about Crispix. And particularly specific kinds of Chex, but whatever. And Life. OG Life, not cinnamon.
Yeah, it's funny. All of those might have been vegetable course cereals.
Yeah.
Those are vegetables. Special K is definitely a vegetable course.
Yep.
And then what was the second one?
Chex.
If you did wheat Chex, that was definitely,
not for me.
I grew to like the wheat Chex more than your processed Chex.
I like the rice and the corn better personally. But
Okay.
but I hear you.
But yeah, and then Life was borderline vegetable to mid-tier
I didn't discover Life until adulthood
treat.
because I'd only seen Cinnamon Life, which
Yeah.
I never liked.
Didn't
And
discover
Hillary
Life till adulthood.
Showed me that there was Original Life.
Yeah.
I was like, are you fucking
But
kidding
Cinnamon
me?
Life was pretty banger too, man.
I do cinnamon. Cinnamon Toast Crunch even for me. It was like the equivalent of like when there was only Basic 4 left in the cabinet, which is what my dad liked. And I'd eat that reluctantly. And then sometimes, oh my God, dude, some of the brattiest moments I've had in my life are when people refilled one of the like cereal things, like in Forgetting Sarah Marshall that she gives him.
Yeah, the airtight containers.
Yeah, the airtight containers. There'd be a layer of something, and then they would just add a completely different cereal to the top.
That's terrorism.
That is absolute fucking
That's
terrorism.
terrorism.
Hillary
yeah.
does shit like that.
That's crazy.
It's crazy that she does it.
That's crazy to me.
I know. Bless her heart.
You
but
can't commingle like that. It's like putting pit bulls in a pen with Rottweilers.
Okay, dude, here's another good superlative. The wolf in sheep's clothing of cereals, Honey Bunches of Oats. It's a sweet cereal packaged as a healthy one.
Yeah,
Duping parents for an entire decade.
I
Or
don't
two.
disagree, but I didn't love it.
Oh man,
I didn't
so
love
bad.
it. By the way, there was
like
a
it, Chris?
total knockoff of it, which was
that?
like honey clusters or something
Oh,
like
fuck
that.
that
But
shit.
anyway, what were you gonna
Fuck
say,
that
Chris?
That was like the cereal we always had in our house because that was the healthy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was such bullshit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also, with almonds was not as good, and my dad liked the with almonds.
The strawberry one was good.
Oh well, the
Yeah,
strawberry
yeah.
one was
The dried
bit
strawberries.
of a deep
And
cut.
you put
for
it in the
me.
water and
Make the water a little pinkish.
I don't like how bitter the fake strawberries are.
Mm.
Okay, what about this? Overrated cereals. Apple Jacks.
Yeah, I never got into it at all.
How do you guys feel about that? Cookie Crisp was very good as a kid, doesn't hold up as an adult. While I feel that Fruity Pebbles does hold up as an adult.
I didn't eat any of these. These were verboten.
Reese's Puffs. If I have smoked one puff of weed, speaking of puffs, I will eat an entire box of Reese's Puffs in 2 seconds and wake up with with like digestive problems for 18 hours. As if I'd been poisoned.
Yeah.
You know, the only time I ever ate those is when you got me that box. Of the
Oh my
Travis
God.
Scott ones.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got Chris the limited edition Travis Scott Reese's Puffs box.
Puffs, yeah.
You ate them? Good for you.
Yeah, they didn't stand a chance.
Yeah. They didn't stand a chance.
They did not stand a
Just
chance.
like all those kids at his concert.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Too soon. Too soon. Let LaFlame come back, dude. Not yet. Not yet. Proclaimed the people.
Too much. Too much too soon.
Does anybody else have any more cereal input?
I like cereal, but I think milk is gross. I always thought milk was gross.
Yeah, I was always
I would
drinking-
eat it dry.
I would eat.
Ooh.
Did you eat it dry?
You're one of those.
Did you just have unnatural amounts of saliva? How did you get through that?
I just would eat out of the box or put it in a Ziploc.
Oh, you'd eat handfuls.
Handfuls.
You weren't going raw dog
Bowls.
bowl.
I might have done that, but
That's crazy.
I don't like milk.
I tried eating cereal with water a couple times when we were out of milk. That's terrible. Which it might as well skim milk might as well just be water.
I would drink.
Cloudy
I had
water.
soy milk my whole life, and then when finally they developed other milks, almond replaced it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I grew to hate milk too, and then realizing that almond, which I no longer can drink because of my girlfriend.
Yeah.
But oat now has like
Oat's
a
the best.
creamy substitute.
But I haven't had I haven't had a bowl of this. The only cereal I've eaten the last 3 years has been our sponsor,
Oh yeah.
Magic Spoon.
But dude, Reese's, the reason why I brought this up, I ate a gigantic bowl of Reese's Puffs the other day, and
Wow.
I've realized I cannot eat one bowl of cereal. So I will pour less cereal in the first bowl
Smart.
because then there'll be a little bit of milk. I'm like, I'll put more. So I take a handful and put it, and then there's still a little bit of milk. I'm like, I'm just gonna have another bowl.
Yeah.
So then I have a full another bowl.
It's
So I
risk-
know that I
slippery
need to
slope.
do a small portion. But anyway, I had taken a puff, and I then ate almost an entire box of Reese's Puffs. It was
Damn, bro.
pretty awesome.
Wow. Very good. The cereal discussion is a good one. I will say that as I moved older in life, we started really introducing some of those cashy and
Yeah,
some
Kashi.
of the proper
Puffins.
healthy
Yeah.
cereals. And
Also, is it Kashi or Kashi? Can we get a?
they weren't bad.
Can we get a?
I didn't hate them the way that I
They're okay.
kind of remember hating them. I actually did kind of like them.
They're decent.
No one likes this, but I love the Raisin Bran or Raisin Bran Crunch.
Raisin Bran Crunch.
Hated Raisin Bran.
Raisin Bran Crunch.
I didn't fuck with
Once
that
they
shit.
came out with Raisin Bran Crunch, it was like the Charizard foil to the Charmander basic that was Raisin Bran. What a reboot. Oh my God.
Yeah.
They had like lightning bolts on it.
Yeah. Nice
So
try, guys.
good. Yeah.
I have one additional adjacent thought before we wrap it up. And this is about candy at a pour your own bag candy establishment. One cardinal rule: do not mix outer coated sugar candy like a Sour Patch Kid with a Haribo style gummy bear. Those need to be in separate bags, or else the Haribo will get tainted
Contaminated.
they'll get contaminated by the outer
Becomes
sugar of the Sour
contaminated.
Patch
That's right.
and the sour watermelons, and you can't have that happen.
Mm.
A really fun thing that you can do in that situation, if you really want to have a great time, take one of each thing and put it in the bag, and every bite will be something new and exciting.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
From the pure gummy aisle or from the sour, you take one of each thing, one of
Okay.
each, and you will end up with a full bag of a complete different assortment.
Hmm.
And you'll find things you never knew you would have liked. You're like, well, that robot was delicious. They'll have a robot that's a slightly different style as the other gummies. I'm just saying, dude.
I'm not sure.
So that's it.
I'm not sure.
If you guys want to have a lot of fun some afternoon, I suggest doing that.
What was that really good candy place here in the city?
Dylan's.
Is that what it is?
Dylan's Candy
Yeah.
Bar is really good.
Yeah.
But what is with the daughters of moguls making dessert places? There's another one. There's somebody else who somebody famous's daughter opened like an ice cream place. It's Cafe Pana. Danny Meyer's daughter.
Wow.
Cafe Pana, Dylan's Candy Bar, Ralph Lauren. maybe not a fair comparison, but that's all I got. Facts of Ryan. Is he lying?
Is he
trying?
lying? Is he trying?
Is he flying?
Is he flying?
Hopefully.
I'm not buying. Facts with Ryan.
Okay. So the police officer versus army death toll. I looked up multiple sources. If you know more info, let us know. But what I've gathered that I can confidently share is that 458 active law enforcement officers passed away in the line of duty in 2021. And only 13 U.S. soldiers died in 2021, according to multiple sources.
I mean, then I'm fucking...
One in the
I'm
win
fucking
column for
way off.
Colorado.
I'm way off, but hold on a second. Does that include... Did you say active duty police officers
Yes.
And soldiers.
were killed in the line of duty?
There were more deaths that were not included in that number for accidental deaths.
Okay. And also just like former police officers who died of old age.
That's not a part of this. Those are
Okay.
people that were
And you're telling me 13 U.S. soldiers were killed? That's it?
from multiple sources. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That doesn't sound
Anyone
right
out
to
there?
me. Because that, to me, that means they're just totally excluding a lot of like special forces guys. But maybe that's wrong.
Let us know.
Wow. Either way, I'm giving you the W on that.
Thank you.
It was so lopsided that I'm wrong.
Thank you.
The synonym that you were referring to for longshoreman was stevedore.
Yes.
From The
Steve
Wire?
Doors? Yes, stevedores.
Yeah, stevedores.
That's exactly right. That's what they call them. Does that have a country origin? Meaning, does it refer to people from a specific country? I think Poland. Is a stevedore someone from Poland?
Stevedore.
No, there isn't a specific.
Okay. I don't know why I thought that.
No. It's,
Keep giving more facts. I'm going to look up stevedore.
can you guys tell me the number one album sold of all time? We're talking about
I can. It's Thriller, isn't it?
Thriller
Wow,
Yeah.
good. Well done.
by MJ. Monkey Loft is actually open until 3 a.m. on the weekends. So Monday through Wednesday, they do close at 11, but they are open later if you get there on the weekend.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You can smoke inside legally at bars in 12 different states.
Okay.
Wow.
And then JetBlue is buying Spirit Airlines for $3.8 billion. That's going to be official
Cool.
soon.
Cool.
And then a rising tide lifts all boats.
What did I say? Raises?
I forget. but-
Floats. Rising
Floats.
floats all boats.
Yeah.
Lifts all boats. That's better. Stevedore has no country affiliation. I don't know why I thought Poland. Okay. Awesome.
What do you
Good
got
facts,
coming
Ryan.
up? What do you got coming up?
I've got Greenville and Charlotte in September, late September. You go ahead. I'll get the dates for that. Tickets at francisellis.com.
Cool. August 20th, New Orleans for me. October 20th, Charlotte. November 12th, Ann Arbor. And sometime in September, New York. Tickets on my website as well. Get them while they hot.
Nice. I'm at the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's
Oh, it's a
September
great club.
29th. And then
Great
I'm at the
club.
Comedy Zone in Greenville, South Carolina, September 30th to October 2nd.
Comedy Zone Charlotte, man. What a great room.
I'm excited. FrancisHells.com for tickets. That's Oops the Podcast. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.